Beste luisteraars, ik ben hier met Gabriele Kuby, de schrijfster van de Seksuele Revolutie. I'm here with Gabriele Kuby. Welcome. Good of you to spare a couple of minutes to do an interview. Some time ago with the podcast, I shared a petition of Michiel Hemminga by Citizen Go, and I made a meme which said something like there are only two genders, and I thought it was pretty logical. But it was shared on the 3 different news sites, and I was called a fascist all over the place. And
a fascist?
A fascist, really?
It's just unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But this is exactly what you write your book about totalitarianism of the ideology of gender fluidity. Or could you tell us a bit more about what's going on?
That is really the danger, that this ideology of gender, which says there are more than two genders, which says any kind of sexual activity is okay, where
even
there's consensus,
with very young people.
As long as there's consensus, which if we look at all the sexual abuse, if we look at the human trafficking, if we look at pornography, where's the consensus? Yeah. So that is not really true for our society. Mm-hmm.
And also what I thought was really good, what you pointed out in your book.
Well,
is,
that is getting totalitarian. Yeah. That ideology is really getting totalitarian. We must speak gender, we must use gender language. Mm-hmm. And as you just said, if we don't do it, we are called fascists. I want to urge everybody not to succumb to it, to stick to their common sense, to stick to their conscience, and to stand up for the truth. That is absolutely necessary, and it will become more and more expensive to do that. Do it now, stand up for what you realize is true. And in the universities, at your workplace, in your families, everywhere, there are only 2 genders, and this is a man and a woman. And this is how the creation is put into our hands. This is how we are created, and I think it's important to live within the good order of creation.
Yeah, thank you. And to come back on the consensus, a good thing you point out in your book is that we're given liberty on everything. So we expect that from a very early age we're allowed to do anything sexually with anything or everybody. And then we expect that those people, at the moment that someone says, I'd better like you not to do that, suddenly has the discipline, which is ridiculous because they are raised without any discipline and with the idea that everything they make up in their minds, how perverse it can be.
Very good point. The sexual drive is very strong. Hunger is stronger, that we have to eat and breathe. But then very soon then comes the sexual drive, because the sexual drive keeps the human race alive. Yeah? So it is very strong. And we as human beings have free will. So we have the obligation we need criteria. What do we choose to do? We can have sex or we cannot have sex. We have the choice for this. Mm-hmm. If we are addicted, we don't have a choice. Yeah. If we have not learned, that's what you were saying, control this powerful drive, which we must learn very early. We must learn to say no to something which we want. This is how we educate our children. They must be able to do this. If we are not able to do this, the consequence is what we have: massive sexual abuse in the whole of society. Yeah. Because we have addiction to pornography, because this drive is not controlled. So it's all phony. And wherever you look in this ideology, you find total contradictions, lie, manipulation. You know, the whole concept of tolerance. Let people do our gender fluidity. Why? If there's gender fluidity, if I can choose my sexual orientation, why am I not allowed to change from homosexuality or whatever it is to heterosexuality.
Yeah.
Why am I persecuted if I'm an ex-gay and come out with this by my own people?
Or if you ask help for it.
Or like this, they're even, in California, they even prohibit therapy for that and so on. So it is becoming totalitarian. We are proud of our democracy. We have to, every generation has to defend freedom. Freedom is never something granted. Freedom does not come by structures. We have to defend it. And every single person is asked to do that work of defense of freedom.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for your beautiful words, and I recommend everybody to read the book, not only for the beautiful message, but certainly because you are you give very good facts and sources to back up the ideas or the beliefs that you already have.
I'm very amazed about the path this book is taking. It's now translated in 11 languages. There are 3 more to come: Ukrainian, South Korean, Portuguese, and so the book seems to be doing a job of awakening people, and this awakening needs to lead to action, to rise up and defend the dignity of the human person.
And what action, perhaps to round up this conversation, what action could the listeners take?
I have no general strategy, and there can't be a general strategy. It very much depends whether we are able to actually ask from above direction. I think we need this in the struggle we are in. I'm a religious person, I'm a Christian. God, what do you want me to do at the very place where I am? And please give me the courage to do it.
Yeah, and courage is, I think, very important, and
it's important,
becoming more and more important. As you mentioned in your lecture this evening, the price is getting higher.
That's true.
So let's express ourselves at the lowest price at the moment.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.